Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your evening co-host, late night co-host, evening co-host, morning co-host, Jimmy, and I'm here as always with
a very shirtless Big T, Tony B.
And
Sleepy Dave.
Sleepy Dave. Oh, Sleepy Dave.
Always Sleepy Dave.
But
perpetually
let's go
Sleepy
back to
Dave.
the shirtless husk of a man in front of us.
I see him.
I am burning up right now.
He's a hunk of burning love.
He's got a fever. And he actually might.
I actually might. Let's hope not. I just hope my body's just overheating right now.
Do you want to trade seats?
No, I'm cool.
He's saying hello away from Dave and I because we don't want the bubonic plague that's currently like ripping muscles in his back and shit.
Yeah, you stay the fuck over there.
I'll be fine.
Also, good on you for getting sick after TIFF.
Yeah, the TIFF cold came a little bit late this year.
And strong.
Yeah, definitely. I was knocked out for about 2 days.
Yeah.
But I think I'm on the other side of it.
That's good.
Yeah. And thank God it wasn't COVID because, Dave got us COVID last year. That was fun.
True. That was a gift that kept on
giving. Good for you.
It wasn't me. Somebody gave it to me.
And you gave it to me. Yeah. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. What was that screening we were in? We were in, it was the room next door, and fucking that Chuckles in front of us in the corner was like dying against the wall. And we're like, Jesus.
All of us just like slowly putting our masks over our face.
Day 3 and you're already coughing.
But not even like a nice plate. Like there was it was a guttural.
There was someone behind me in another one that was another guttural.
Yeah. You know what?
Come on.
We're going to cure Tony tonight. He's drinking the Voodoo Mountain Dew, mystery flavored Mountain Dew.
Ooh.
And that's going to
spooky.
I love this, guys. In the 591 milliliter bottle, there is approximately 73 grams of sugar.
Oh yeah, I got the same here. I'm sipping on a Baja Blast.
It's Mountain Dew.
Yeah, just 73 grams of
in a bottle, buddy.
Diabetes straight to your heart.
This episode is unofficially sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Thanks, Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Live Moss. And hope your pancreas is still working.
Absolutely.
Live Pancreas.
Live Pancreas. I like that.
Let's get into this fucking episode.
Let's do it.
So we're post-TIFF.
We are.
We don't have 8 bajillion movies to go through.
We still have a few.
We still have 8 bajillion movies to go through just now outside of a festival.
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to get on to our usual shit? Do we want to go back to a best and worst?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to start?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, I can start.
Sure.
I'll start with the TIFF title.
Bait and switch.
Well, this one's coming out this week.
Sure, yeah.
So the best, my best for this week is The Wild Robot.
Oh, okay.
Which
DreamWorks,
is DreamWorks Animation.
Nice.
It has Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, fun.
Mark Hamill.
Ooh.
So it's about the titular wild robot.
Right.
Basically, it's like a helpful robot. Its entire design and goal in life is to help you out, and then it asks you if your task is completed type thing.
Yeah.
So it gets washed away in a crate and it lands on an island type thing, and like the wilderness.
Right.
And all around her is just furry woodland creatures.
It's like it's like the robot now has to learn how to live in its new environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty clever. This is what I liked. The robot basically spends time learning the language of all of the furry woodland creatures.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
So then, like they end up speaking English later, but it's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, where like they put in like the little
the little
tracking thing, or the whatever the chip thing is, so they can all understand each other even though they're speaking different languages. So it's kind of like that, which I thought was really cool. A really fun explanation.
Yeah,
basically it goes down to she has to help I think it's a duck or goose. It's some sort of flying creature
Sure.
that needs to learn how to fly by the end of the season.
Yes. Yeah.
At the same time as the company's trying to find her and bring her back to company headquarters.
Right.
So there's some darkness to it, and it kind of sags a little in the middle, but the animation, holy shit, is stunning animation. Like, have you guys seen the trailer? Like, it's like very Sally, very like.
It was very different to what DreamWorks puts out, right?
Like, you guys know what the DreamWorks face is,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah.
Okay, no DreamWorks face.
Well, that's good.
No DreamWorks
They're doing something
face.
new. I like
They're
that.
doing something completely new.
Good for them.
It's probably their most accomplished work animation-wise to date.
I'm sorry. No, that should be since Shrek. Get the fuck out of here if you put any ill on Shrek's name.
I said fine. Since Shrek. Since Shrek 2, okay?
Okay, fair. Fire. I give you, that's fine.
Since Shrek 2. Like, I like DreamWorks. I like what they put out. But since that era where they started just making, like, carbon, where it started looking like carbon copies.
Yeah, absolutely.
This feels different.
Yeah.
It feels more lived in. The voice work is awesome. Like, Lupita's great.
Nice.
But she's always fucking great.
Yeah.
And Catherine O'Hara like had me like fucking chuckling the whole time.
Nice.
But yeah, it's solid. It just needed to be a little shorter or tighter in the middle. And the music's really good. And you'll probably shed some tears.
No, nice. I did think that because the trailer for that movie did feel like everything you just described. I'm like, yeah, I got all of that from the trailer. Like, I knew every piece of this movie.
Yeah,
from
like it's not a surprise. Like nothing is a surprise.
Yeah,
nothing is a surprise. But they still do it well.
Okay, that's good.
They still do it well. Like it was like in my mid tier for TIFF, but like it was still enjoyable enough that I'm looking forward to showing it to Quinny and Eloise.
Wonderful. Yeah, I love that. And I mean that since, target demo and all.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. That's great.
Mr. Tony.
So, for my best, I finally fixed a blind spot in my on my watch list.
Before you get there, I was just gonna say Wild Robot comes out on Friday.
Good. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay, so
Blind Spot.
Blind Spot. Fixed it.
You watched Blind Spot.
That's a TV show, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I watched Alex Garland. Blindness. There you go. Blindness. That movie's a fucked up.
The Blind Spot is Sandy B.
Yes.
Yeah. See?
No. Blind Side.
Blind Spot
is the fucking TV show with the tattoos.
The tattoos. Yes. You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Blindness is the Don McKellar movie.
Yeah.
With Julianne Moore. Wow. Oh, no, it's not Don McKellar. Maybe it is Don McKellar. No, Don McKellar's in it. I don't know if he directed it.
It's the Brazilian guy who did it.
Walter Salas?
No, Fernando Morales.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Fuck all that. What did you watch?
I watched Alex Garland's Civil War.
Oh, well, first of all,
welcome to the party, pal.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. Welcome. It's been an age.
It's been an age.
Thank you for catching up to us.
I finally got that right before TIFF started.
Good. And
I fucking adore this movie.
Yeah.
I adore it. I know people have their problems with it. And honestly, if it wasn't for one part, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
There was just one part that I did not like at the end that kind of ruined it for me.
Sure.
I'm not going to ruin it or anything for anybody. Yeah, that really pissed me off. I understand they were leading to that whole moment. Obviously, you guys listening didn't know what I just did, but I just reenacted the one scene for the guys.
Yeah.
I know that the whole movie was leading to that one moment. Yeah. I understand why it's there, but it still doesn't take away of how fucking cheesy it looked.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
All fair.
But this movie was absolutely intense. It was fucking metal. Like the soundtrack was an absolute banger. Like I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. At some points, like I was like, my heart was in my throat. it was just a very intense movie. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. But if this is the last movie that we get from Alex Garland, like fucking what a movie to go out on.
I think he's co-directing another one.
Yeah, but he's like he did say that he's done, right? But if this is the last one, like holy shit.
It's a good send.
We just need to be thankful it wasn't men.
Right? We're fucking so glad. So glad.
I'm glad I came back for one more.
This movie was bleak. It was like darkly hilarious. Like that one point, what's his name? Wagner Moreira? Yeah. When they're like back and they can hear like bombs and like gunfire going off, and he's like, do you hear that? Do you hear that? I'm fucking so hard right now. Let's go. Let's do it. I was like, wow, what the fuck? Yeah. Because there's wartime journalists that are fucking like that.
Yeah.
Like it is believable. I wanted a little bit more with Nick Offerman.
Sure.
Again, at the end,
they don't really need him.
I know they don't really need them, but like the end, I kind of was important. I know he's not important, David. Where they go with him at the end, I thought it was going to be a little bit different. I didn't think it was going. I didn't think it was going to. Spoiler alert! I didn't think it was going to be that easy.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, that's all I can really say. If you haven't seen this movie, see it immediately. You need to do it. This is top tier. Definitely going to be top 10 of the year for sure. I loved this movie.
I can't believe that this was this year.
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts.
Like everyone was so good. Wagner was really good. Kristen Dunst, Kaylee Spaney, and our boy Stephen
McKinley.
What?
God, I never know his name.
No love for fucking Plemons.
Well, Plemons didn't. I thought Plemons would make more of an impact.
No love for Plemons on those fucking sunglasses.
The sunglasses. Obviously,
I wish I went to the screen because they gave out the sunglasses.
The scene was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but I thought he would make. I thought there was gonna be more for him.
No. Stephen McKinley Henderson.
He was the unsung hero. I really loved him. See this movie immediately.
Spoiler alert, he's the unsung hero in everything he shows up in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And the gang.
I, on the heels of something else that we're going to talk about a little bit later, but before TIFF started, in anticipation of potentially getting to see another Francis Ford Coppola movie, I decided to go down and watch Apocalypse Now.
Which version?
The final cut.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't remember the last time I watched Apocalypse Now. It had to have been when I was in my like teens, early 20s.
I would say
probably for a film class or something. I don't remember anymore. It's been ages.
I borrowed Apocalypse Now Redo on DVD from friend of the podcast, Madeleine.
There you go.
That was the last time I watched it. Was when I watched it with you.
Ages ago.
It's been a long time. A long time.
So I watched the final cut because I don't think I've ever seen the final cut either. I think I watched the redo or something. I don't fucking remember. Or maybe the theatrical. God knows.
There's 3 different versions.
Yeah. All I remember from all of this was, that it almost destroyed Francis Ford Coppola, and like the entire production was riddled with issues, and it was over budget and ridiculous and nonsensical. And
they hired like a sponsor person for Dennis Hopper to make sure he wasn't drunk and high the whole time. And they had to fire him because that guy was drunk and high all the time.
Yeah. But so I went back through this movie and just loved it. It's fucking solid. Incredible things that I was picking up on that I didn't remember, like the horror. Yes. The horror. Yes. But everything, that iconic fucking choppers riding in to Ride of the Valkyries. Lines like Charlie Don't Surf, which is also an impeccable delivery by Robert Duvall that I'll never forget.
The smell of napalm in the morning.
Always. and Death from Above, of course. And then all of that to get, deeper and deeper, and you're just kind of like watching people devolve further and further into insanity, which from all accounts, that's what the Vietnam War kind of was like. The further into the bush you got, the more insane you kind of became, because you were just kind of lost all sense of humanity. And
you were in the shit.
You were in the shit. So anyway, getting all the way up to Marlon Brando, who's on the screen for, I don't know, arguably 7 minutes of the entire runtime of that movie, and kills every second that he's on screen.
Like Marlon Brando usually
fucking
did.
Marlon Brando. Like, it's just, from all the things you hear, and if you watched The Offer, like all the incredibly tumultuous stories of working with Brando and how, especially later in life and all of that. Yeah, but look at what you get. Like, it's almost like, is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. You can get there. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it in a long time or haven't seen the final cut, go watch it. It's good. It's very, very good.
Nice.
I have it on 4K. I have like
I watched it in 4K.
I have like the mega box set that has all 3 in 4K.
Yeah. I watched it in 4K, and
it has like
gorgeous.
It's like 6 or 7 discs. It's fucking stupid.
It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous still.
Nice.
Larry Fishburne. He was like,
oh yeah, man. He's
like
a baby.
He was like 16 or something. He was definitely underage, and he lied about it.
Yeah. He was like a child in this movie.
Yeah, he's a baby.
Anyway, that was always a fun thing. It was a who's who of faces too as you went through. I enjoyed that, including Mr. Sheen.
Yes,
I love his voiceovers.
Yeah. It's plentiful in the final cut, Tone. Plentiful.
I bet.
Monsieur Dave.
More of a comment, not a question.
Sure.
I'm kidding. I'm going to go with another best, lower best, and it's Jeremy Saulnier's Rebel Ridge, which I have been waiting for fucking ever.
Nice.
Because I love my man Jeremy Saulnier.
Sure.
And he's always delivering bangers, even when they're not bangers. They're still bangers.
Sure.
We saw him at TIFF.
I literally saw him multiple times at TIFF.
Yeah.
I went to Blue Ruin, I went to Green Room, and I went to
Hold the Dark,
which I fucking hated.
Well,
still
yeah,
a banger,
obviously, still a banger. We saw Sarsgaard that time too.
That's true. And
well, that's
probably
dope.
Margaret. No, it's not Margaret
Jeffrey,
Qualley. It's the other one. Who's Elvis's granddaughter?
Elvis's granddaughter.
Riley Keough.
Yes.
Riley
What
Keough.
about Jeffrey Wright?
Jeffrey Wright was there too.
Yeah.
Wild.
So, anyways, this one is about a black man. It's played by Aaron Pierre, who is, I believe he was. I want to just confirm. Give me one moment. Yes, he played mid-size sedan in Old.
Oh my God, mid-size sedan.
I don't remember that.
Jesus,
the rapper.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the leads in Brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just remember him from Brother, that obscene fucking not obscene, obscure Canadian movie that I've seen.
He's about to play Mufasa in Mufasa.
All right. So he's about to become a big deal.
Anyways, this guy fucking slays in this movie.
Nice.
He's fucking awesome. Anyways, so he's going to the small town to get his cousin out of jail, like to post bail, and he gets caught by the police, and they're like rough him up, and they take the money he has, and they put it in holding type thing.
Sure.
And then he goes to go talk to the sheriff, the top dog, the chief, Don Johnson.
Of course.
Nice.
And you find out that there's all sorts of corruption going on.
Well, of course.
There's
something rotten in the state of Denmark.
Something rotten is
course.
going on. And then he ends up teaming up with a paralegal played by Anna Sophia Robb, who I haven't seen on screen in fucking forever.
Nice.
And she's very good. But basically, like, he doesn't want to hurt, or he doesn't want to kill anybody.
No.
Right.
But he's okay hurting them pretty badly.
Well, of course.
So it's fucking intense.
Nice.
It's fucking intense. It gets a little muddled at the end.
Yeah.
In the third act, there's a lot of just talking and a lot of over explaining everything when it should just be Don Johnson bad, police bad, Aaron Pierre taking out the trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's intense, and you guys should definitely see it because it's a return to form for Jeremy Saulnier, and I hope to Jesus that he makes another movie a lot fucking sooner than this one.
Does he have his signature violence? Like, is it like,
it's pretty intense.
you put it
kind of it's pretty violent.
It's pretty violent. Like on the levels of like Blue Ruin and Green Room.
It's pretty violent.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
It's not guys. It's not poor Anton's fucking arm getting hacked to pieces. Hacked to pieces. But
and maybe getting fucking annihilated by dogs.
Yeah. It's not that.
I might need to rewatch Green Room again.
Green Room's a fucking
I
banger,
love it so
buddy.
much.
It's
so good.
I got the 4K earlier this year and I watched it, and it's fucking gnarly.
Yeah, man.
It is intense.
But now I want to watch Rebel Ridge. This sounds
yes, you should definitely watch Rebel Ridge. It's been on the top 10 on Netflix for a bit now.
Yeah.
And we couldn't watch it because it came out during TIFF, and like the first movie I watched after I was like, okay, I could do movies again.
Yeah, Rebel Ridge. Nice.
Totally worth it.
Love it.
Mr. Tony.
So, for my math, it's a high math. I'm going to bring you guys back to the 90s where a little action hero was born. He was very famous in Asia, and he came over to the States and he made some bangers. I'm talking about Jackie Chan.
I was going to say Jackie Chan.
And
Tony Jaa.
Jet Li.
I am talking about Rumble in the Bronx.
Oh, shit.
This
Banger.
movie fucking slaps. I honestly,
All right,
that's it.
end of
That's
review.
it.
Cool.
End of
That's
review.
it.
There you go. It slaps.
That's it.
It's so memorable. I was so nostalgic watching it because I remember being a little 6-year-old boy watching this fucking movie, and
It was his first big,
that was like the first big American movie for sure.
Yeah.
Like he is so incredible. The stunt work is absolutely insane. Like he's not of this world because there's no way a human person could do what he does.
Yeah.
The dialogue, don't worry about the dialogue. just like put it in the corner and take it, and we'll take it out in the morning.
Oh, that's fair.
Do we go to Jackie Chan movies for the dialogue?
No, you don't.
Do we go to Big Jim movies for the dialogue? Like,
No,
come on.
no,
we
you
know what
don't.
we're there for.
Like there was
We're
so
there
many
to watch Jackie Chan beat the shit out of people
Kick some motherfucking ass.
and do things that humans should not be able to do.
Exactly. They like. I just need to say this. There's this one part where they're on like a hovercraft. Why there's a hovercraft in this movie?
We don't know.
You don't need to
It
ass.
was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
It's a big budget Hollywood film,
Right.
Tony.
So, and they literally like knife it to shit so that it doesn't really hover anymore. And the solution, because they have to get back into the hovercraft to go get the bad guy, they duct tape the shit out of it, and then all of a sudden the air just goes back into it, no problem.
Well, I mean, that's how hovercrafts work, Tom.
Of course, and that's how duct tape works too.
Fixes everything.
That is how duct tape works, Tom.
Also, an entire building gets like brought to the ground with some chains and some SUVs. How that? Not
Just
gonna
don't
ask.
ask.
Not gonna ask.
Don't worry.
I remember the hovercraft thing because he breaks his ankle or breaks his foot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he breaks his foot.
And then he has to wear a cast for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
but
and
they like cover it up.
Right, but then he's literally like jet skiing with no board, no nothing. He's just like floating on the fucking water.
Well, people do that.
Tony, it's Jackie Chan.
It's fucking Jackie Chan. I totally get it. This movie, like, pure shot of adrenaline, pure shot of nostalgia. Go see it. Fucking find it wherever you can. Go see it. Go find it.
Well, you never know. There could be like a review cinema that's putting
I
it
would
on.
do it. I would do it.
It needs to be
friggin'
on 4K. That's what it needs. I don't know how that hasn't shown up on 4K.
We need a 4K release of this movie. The story makes not a lick of sense. There's so many plot holes. There's so much overacting. So many characters that you just want to bitch slap, including the kid where he's like, Keon! Like,
I was gonna ask if that was
right?
that was
It's just as annoying as you remember. Melissa was just like, I know the kid's in a wheelchair, but like, does he have to be this annoying?
Yes.
rough.
Right? Like, it's something, and it's great.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this. Good. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's been a long time
and
since
also,
I've seen it.
to that point of skiing on your feet, there's like an entire Red Bull competition of people skiing on their feet only.
We're legit.
It's a whole ass thing.
Right.
Alyssa just walked by and she looked at Tony and she was like, "What the fuck?"
I love this.
It's too hot in your fucking house, bro.
No, it's too hot in Tony's internal body.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
We need to do like an ice bucket challenge or something and just get my body temperature down.
You can do it all by yourself.
Need to do an ice bucket challenge.
Yes.
Tell you what, after this, we'll just take you outside and we'll hose you down.
Oh,
How's
that sounds nice.
Yes,
that
please.
sounds nice.
Like
We
that
can
one
do
time we hosed down James.
Yeah, that was fun. My not so mad, but second best, I guess.
What's with this? We just don't watch Mez anymore.
No mess. You know what? TIFF had a good solid middle section of mess.
That's true.
I need just short bangers now.
They definitely had like a good solid section of 3-star movies.
It was a
And they were
bell
decent
curve
3-star
of
movies, too.
3-star movies. So mine is Point Break.
Point Break.
OG, of course, because there is no other.
Why was this not your best?
It's second best.
Okay.
It's right underneath.
Okay, as long as it's right underneath.
right
as long as
underneath.
it's like slotted
It's right underneath.
a ball hair under Apocalypse
just
Now.
a tinge.
Johnny Utah, buddy.
Just
Come
the tip
on.
underneath. Yeah, Johnny
I am
Utah.
an FBI agent.
He sure is. He sure is, and we're proud of him. I thank you to Dave for getting me this on 4K.
No problem.
And I watched it on 4K, and it was glorious. It was very, very good.
You just need Patrick Swayze in 4K.
Good Lord, yeah, you do.
He's just so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was great to sort of behold in all of its 4K glory. I know there's a lot of controversy around the Point Break transfer as well, because of the way that it was shot back in the day to account for letterboxed and 4:3 images. And when you transfer that over to 4K, it's the same problem as True Lies and all of that. So, not to get too
Catherine Bigelow, so it kind of makes sense.
exactly the same. Yeah. At the time. Yes. But what I actually did want to say though is, so I was watching it and I was like, fuck man, this is so good. Johnny Utah is the greatest. Gary Busey is unhinged as he normally is.
Doesn't he get 2 hot dogs? What is it? 2 hot dogs?
Yeah. He's insane. Like
He's Gary Busey.
a bank robbery happens right behind them because Johnny Utah is getting fucking hot dogs. Like I don't know, man.
Sometimes you just need to get hot dogs, man.
Man, sometimes you need hot dogs.
So anyway, I was sitting there and I was like, oh, right. People always say that like the Fast and the Furious was Point Break with cars. And I was watching it and I was like, oh yeah, it totally is.
Totally fucking is, man.
Yeah, Fast and Furious is Point Break with cars. Like it's literally the exact same sort of story beats, minus the way that it ends. It's a little bit different of an ending. But not
Only
almost
vaguely.
not even. Yeah.
Vaguely different.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just a fun random fact. But if you haven't seen Point Break in a while and you want to see some like balls to the wall action, great surfing shots, an excellent skydiving scene, and just two men who just love each other so much.
So much.
So much. Johnny Utah loves him so much that he has to fire his gun into the air. He can't bring himself to kill Patrick Swayze.
That scene in Hot Fuzz when they're doing
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my Christ.
It's so good. It's so good. But there you go. That's my second. Dave, what are you looking up?
So there's a Point Break live show, like stage show.
Right. Why?
Why not?
All right. Fair enough.
Why not?
Yeah.
And Johnny Utah
Yeah.
is an audience member, a different audience member every night.
Okay, I think I've seen this.
So like it's the cast, and then they just choose Johnny Utah out of the audience.
Incredible.
That's amazing.
So it's always different, and it's just like I don't know, maybe he has like the lines or he just has to make up the lines as he goes type thing. But yeah, they don't have a Johnny Utah. You can be Johnny Utah.
That's amazing.
I think they feed you some of the lines.
Yeah.
And I think they also just kind of work on an improvisational thing. So they'll keep the story moving no matter what. But
the
you
idea
might
is
say some random ass shit.
The idea is because everyone hates how Keanu talks in that movie.
Yeah.
So you're just basically trying to outact Keanu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just not that hard to do. He's not doing a lot.
No, he's not.
He's just Keanu Reeves.
It's just Keanu being Keanu, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But anyway, Point Break is great. I will hear no ill of this movie.
Yeah.
I'm due for a rewatch.
You guys seen the remake?
I've seen the remake. It is horse shit.
I almost spit my Mountain Dew across
I refuse to acknowledge its existence.
You want to know why it's horse shit, Dave?
Because Keanu Reeves is in it.
It was made by our good pal Kurt Wimmer.
Oh, good. It's a Kurt Wimmer film.
That's all you need to know, guys.
You want to know how horseshit it is too?
Yeah.
I was at Value Village the other day. I was looking in the DVD section because why not? You never know. You might find a banger.
You might find one.
Right beside The Mummy 2016 was Point Break. And I went, that's where it belongs, in the bin.
You should have just taken it out and just thrown it into the trash.
Should have put it in the trash. Along with The Mummy.
Along with the mummy, yeah.
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 Yeah. Real
Dave,
bad.
what do you got for me?
Well, we've been singing the praises of The Substance.
Yes. We
as
have.
of late.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen The Substance yet, you owe it to yourself to watch it.
It's out now.
But it has a great, great Dennis Quaid performance in it.
Indeed, it does.
But it's not the only film out in theaters right now that stars Dennis Quaid.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What the fuck?
My worst, boys, is Sean McNamara's Reagan.
Love it.
Why? Yes.
Where Dennis Quaid plays Ronald Reagan.
Dave, tell me why this movie exists.
I don't know, man.
Why do we need a puff piece on Ronald Reagan?
I don't know. But
basically, it is a puff piece, right?
I will tell you how the setup
go for it
of Reagan. Basically, I would guess it's like the late 90s. It's before he dies.
Right. Reagan smash.
And there's a Russian KGB operative who needs to come in to learn more about Reagan and why they never took him out.
Okay.
So he gets spoken to. He goes to a former KGB agent's house. His name is Viktor Petrovich.
Sure.
Hey, he's fake. He's not a real person.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll get to why this is good. And Petrovich kind of talks about, he's the framing device who talks about who Reagan was when he was a kid up to when he was and then he's an actor.
Yeah.
And then he's president of SAG.
Yeah.
And then he goes into politics.
Yeah.
And then of course Gorbachev, bring the wall down.
Mr. Gorbachev.
That scene.
It's the best Reagan I got. I'm sorry.
That scene is like a hyped up fucking, oh my God, is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? And everybody's going crazy. And then it's like that big clapping moment because obviously Ronald Reagan ended the Cold War.
Clapped?
In the movie, yeah.
Oh, in the movie.
But I mean, in like, you know how like there's that groundswell moment where you're waiting for the line to come and then everyone goes berserk.
Oh, he's going to say it.
That's what I can see a theater full of Republicans going crazy when this part happens.
Sure. So he does say it.
He does say it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Thank Christ.
Oh.
But they hype it up to be like he ended the Cold War, which is wrong. Yeah. Rocky ended the Cold War.
Obviously. This is true. This is true.
We know this.
We know
this.
We know this. This is facts.
So anyways, the reason I brought off Petrovich is he comes up a few times in the movie and they have to de-age him.
Okay.
So that's what took this movie's apparently been done for a while, but they had to add in a lot of special effects to de-age some of the characters.
Okay.
Because Petrovich keeps showing up and he's like on the KGB's the roster of people in Russia who are trying to take this guy down type thing, or figure out how they're going to win the Cold War. Would you like to know who plays Petrovich?
Sure.
And they have a
not Dennis Quaid.
Not Dennis Quaid. They have a what I guess would be described as a Russian accent.
So it's definitely not an actor of Russian descent.
It is not an actor of Russian descent.
Sam Worthington.
Nope.
I love that. That's who you go with.
Nope. It is an Academy Award winner, though.
Of course it is.
Lawrence
Gary Oldman.
Fishburne.
It's someone old.
Gary Oldman.
I will give you one more guess.
Christopher Plummer.
It's not Christopher Plummer.
Ian McGregor.
Old, Tony.
Malcolm McDowell.
Bryan Cranston.
John Voight.
No.
Amazing.
DH John Voight.
John fucking Voight.
And he has a
Amazing.
Russian accent.
Tony, say it with me now.
Fuck
Fuck
John
John
Voight.
Voight.
Also, follow-up question. Does he talk about his boner?
He does not.
Okay.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to
Fun.
that. Also playing a Russian operative, Robert Davey.
Robert Davey.
He's exactly who you think Robert Davey is.
So
Tony.
Robert Davey, the everyman who plays the cartel boss. Yep. That's
Russian,
Robert Davey.
so head of Russian KGB.
Yeah.
So this is conservative jizz porn, the movie.
Very much so. Can I
Okay.
also tell you who also shows up in this film? Mina Suvari, Penelope Ann Miller.
Who?
Okay. Penelope Ann Miller was the love interest to Al Pacino in Carlito's Way.
Okay,
Thanks,
Tony.
Tone.
She was also the love interest to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop.
Thanks, Tone.
So she's very 90s. Also Mina Suvari, 90s. So they just went into the bag of 90s has-beens and just brought them back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a MAGA cap? You're perfect for this movie. Come on.
Absolutely.
Kevin Dillon.
Kevin Dillon.
Oh, not Kevin Dillon. They
Why?
dragged Kevin Dillon into this?
Why?
Yeah.
Did he just need a paycheck?
Yeah. Johnny Drama.
They dragged Kevin Dillon into this.
Yeah. And he's wearing makeup and it's weird.
Oh, God.
God damn.
It's exactly what you think it is. Like some of the costuming and some of the set design is fine when they're not.
Sure.
It's all digital. Dennis Quaid is fine.
Sure.
Like his accent is kind of here nor there.
Yeah.
Like he has his heart in the right place. John Voight's weird,
Well, John Voight's weird and fucking everything.
but they kind of, when he finally meets with Nancy type thing, he's just kind of enamored by her. But they never talk about that why she was the throat goat on the studio lot. So that just feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah. And I mean,
And
was it when Nancy was First Lady of the Nation?
no, it was prior to that. And they just kind of talk about the Cold War and some of the good things he did in office. The AIDS crisis and the war on drugs are just kind of mentioned in an AI.
Yeah. And the entire
AI.
dismantling of the economy and, just overall fucking everybody over for the last, 40 plus years at this point.
Did he do Iran-Contra too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So all of that, not there.
Yeah, I bet.
Not there. Kind of mentioned in passing in I think it was an AI created montage.
Sure.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they missed those parts.
You know what? You know what this movie is not? It's not made for me.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
no-
think you.
it's a no
never
for me,
gonna
dog.
I fucking hate Reagan with so much of my
It's over.
body.
It's over 2 hours long. It's long.
Fuck
it's
that.
lengthy. It
That's
is
2 hours you're never
lengthy.
getting back.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's poof,
Gone.
gone.
I just remember the Ranch, random Netflix show, and Sam Elliott's characters talks so highly of Ronald Reagan.
Anybody who talks highly of Ronald Reagan can literally lick my left nut for the next 58 years.
You're talking smack to our Lord and Savior Sam Elliott.
Not to Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott was playing a role.
Probably loves Ronald Reagan.
I don't know. I like to think better of Sam Elliott.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
It's a no. It's a big no. I think I can skip it.
Yep.
It's a big skip it.
I've already skipped it.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to pass go. I've already skipped it.
Mr. Tony.
Well, riding on the coattails of movies that you can skip.
Yeah.
I was super excited to see this one. Dave was saying he was chomping at the bit to watch Rebel Ridge after TIFF was over.
Yeah.
I was chomping at the bit to watch this piece of shit after TIFF was over.
Right.
And it did not disappoint.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the remake of The Crow.
Oh God, you watched that?
I did.
So that I
did.
don't have to?
I did. So all of you do not have to.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Can we just make a very, very, very nice statement right now?
Sure.
Can we stop making Bill Skarsgård happen? If Bill Skarsgård is anything but a clown in any of his movies, I think we should just immediately skip it.
It's pretty good in Barbarian.
Yeah.
Barbarian's the unicorn.
Yeah. I will say I do appreciate more of the other brother Skarsgård than Bill.
Yes.
And he's in
Bill's my
Deadpool.
least favorite Skarsgård.
He's in a blink it if you miss it fucking role in Deadpool.
It's pretty good though.
Honest to goodness. This movie.
So you like Alexander better?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Stellan. Stellan Skarsgård is pretty nice.
It's their dad.
He's the dad.
Well, yeah,
I'm talking about the brother
the brother
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
There's
Okay,
another
but Stellan.
I think there's
Stellan's
another,
great.
I think there's another one too.
There's
There
definitely another one.
is. It's Bill, Alex, and I want to say Charles. Gotta find out. I need to look up the other Skarsgård. Go on.
So Danny, I have a love for Danny Houston. He plays the same role in everything. He's always a fucking jackass, and he's always like this big, like bad brute. He's fine. He's what he usually does. But there's a part in the trailer where Bill Skarsgård just mows down like an entire army in an opera house. So you're like, yeah, this movie's going to be fucking metal, right? Yeah, that scene happens 25 minutes to the end.
Rough.
I had to wait an hour and 20 minutes for that part to happen. And I was real mad about it.
Damn.
I also want to point out that I counted exactly 28 executive producers on this movie.
That doesn't surprise me.
So that should give you another clue about this movie.
They've been trying to make it for the better part of 2 decades,
I
Tony.
also want to point out that if you're going to make a movie that is The Crow and you want somebody who looks like Brandon Lee, you have that person. And his name is Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa was in line to play The Crow.
Okay.
And that movie fell apart.
Yeah.
Now that you know that, there's no point of watching this because I want to see The Crow with Jason Momoa.
Sure.
What about The Crow with Bradley Cooper?
I would also pay to see the Bradley Cooper The Crow.
Yeah, okay.
I also didn't realize how much of a fan I was of the original Crow watching this one because it literally takes so long for anything to fucking happen. I don't need half an hour of backstory explaining their love for each other. I know that he's madly in love with this girl. I don't need this to play out for half an hour just for that moment to happen where they're all killed. You want to know what's good about The Crow? That scene happens right in the first 5 minutes and then we're off.
Sure. Did you enjoy that it was FKA Twigs?
I don't even know who that is.
Neither do I.
I was going to ask if that's how you say her name.
Yeah, it's FKA Twigs.
Okay. I was going to ask.
Her actual name is Talia.
Oh, okay. What if it's FKA? Would it be formerly known as Twigs?
No.
Or you just call her FKA
Twigs.
like Faka?
No. It's FKA Twigs.
Okay. I know she's shy as X and he was a fucking asshole to her.
Yeah. That tracks. Plus, Skarsgård doesn't even look like the Crow. The Crow has long hair and he's white and he has like fucking emo goth. Like every goth and emo person in the 90s modeled their makeup after this fucking guy. And they do it differently in this one. And it looks like absolute dog shit. This movie has no right to exist.
I think they literally just had to put it out to either
to just
keep
get
the
it
rights
done
or just to like get it off the ledger.
Yeah.
But you know what? just because you do that, just drop it on a streaming service. Don't bring it into theaters. Like, you're just losing more money.
Yeah,
it didn't do well. It didn't do well. Nobody wanted to see it
because it doesn't need to exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to exist. The original Crow is a goddamn banger.
I didn't know this podcast had the Crow on the pedestal.
Well, like after this movie, it definitely needs to be on the pedestal. It is definitely one of those unappreciated movies. You definitely should check it out. Brandon Lee is absolutely incredible. It was such a shame. Yeah. Do not see this movie.
Fair enough.
You told me you wanted me to watch it
because I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your thoughts and opinion. So, Dave, I want you to suffer. James, I know you're not going to even touch it with a 10-foot pool, even if I told you to.
I'm not.
But I know Dave is a sadistic fuck, and he just likes to just hurt himself.
He watched Reagan, Tony.
He watched Reagan.
I did watch Reagan.
If he has the time to watch Reagan, he can give me an hour and 50 minutes of his life to watch this piece of shit, The Crow.
He just gave Reagan 2 hours of his life.
So it's less hours.
He's running. He's running out of hours to give.
Don't see The Crow.
Fair enough. To answer the burning question on everyone's lips, there are 4 Skarsgård brothers.
Okay.
By the by, we are just been talking about Bill Istvan Gunther Skarsgård. It's his full name, his Christian name. And we all know Alex.
Yes.
I didn't know we were on. We were on a name. Alex.
Sorry, let me go through Christian names then. So we know Alexander Johann Hilmar Skarsgård.
Johann, love it.
There's also 2 that I did not know even existed in real life. First off, we have Gustav Caspar Orm Skarsgård.
I love these names.
And finally, the youngest child, who only has 2 names, inexplicably, Walter Skarsgård.
Oh, good for him.
And there you go.
These guys just sound like fucking Viking kings.
Are they all actors as well?
They are all actors.
Have they been in things that we know?
No, they probably the other 2 brothers probably only appeared in they're Swedish, aren't they?
Well, Gustav was in Evil in 2003, and he was also inexplicably in Oppenheimer.
Everybody was in Oppenheimer.
He's white,
Westworld, and he was Merlin. He's Cursed.
He's white, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
he was in. He was also in Vikings, so he's done a lot more TV stuff. But yeah, stuff that people would have seen. Walter, on the other hand, I don't believe has done anything. He's just an actor. Selected filmography: Funhouse.
Oh, okay,
cool, cool.
And then it's all Swedish stuff. So good for him. He's only 28.
Good for him.
But anyway, there you go. That's the Skarsgård family. And you may rank them accordingly. Basically, Alex, Bill. I guess Gustav and Walter, they're kind of in order already. But I would maybe move Bill slightly further down the list.
Yeah.
Gustav is outranking Bill, I think, based on that filmography that I just read out.
Of course.
He was really good as Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Fair.
That's what I'm saying. Unless he's playing Pennywise.
Unless he's a clown.
Is he Pennywise on the TV show?
Yeah. No, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you.
Anyways, my worst, just to wrap this up so that we can move on to other things.
Yes.
Not to bring it back partially to TIFF, but let's bring it back to TIFF. I finally was able to watch Seeds. The last episode, I think I mentioned that I really wanted to see it after you talked about it.
Worst?
No, I'm putting it in my meh.
Okay.
Which I think is where it is. I had 2 bests and a meh.
Bill was in John Wick 4.
Yes, Bill was in John Wick 4.
Let's go back to how useless he was in John Wick 4.
I haven't seen it.
Remember standout character Bill Skarsgård, John Wick 4, Dave?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because Dave has the biggest blind spot of them all.
I don't understand.
I forgot he was in Boy Kills World. Fuck.
Yeah, he fuck that movie too.
And he's in Nosferatu.
Yeah, so we'll see if he redeems himself.
Playing a sort of monster, so fingers crossed for that.
We'll see if he redeems himself.
Jimmy, Seeds.
Yeah, I was kind of intrigued in this. It was something that I wish I was able to see at TIFF. It was the schedule did not allow, and but I enjoyed this movie for what it was, for sort of a first directorial debut for a Canadian film, for shot in Toronto and then shot, I believe, on a reservation.
That makes sense.
I thought it was a really sort of sort of simple thing that was happening that dealt with a lot of sort of more complex metaphorical issues around, social media influence, raping and pillaging of indigenous lands,
identity
and who you are as a person, and reconnecting with your roots. And all of it was pretty solid, I thought, for, a Canadian feature. The ending was pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Were you smiling?
Yeah.
Did it make you happy?
Yeah, it did.
I had a shit-eating Joker smile on my face when that
like the Cheshire cat.
Like
yeah.
Like
Pretty
the
much.
Cheshire cat. I will say though, I did appreciate that. What is his name?
Graham Greene.
Yes, that Graham Greene was in this because he was also, spoiler alert for anybody who has or has not seen Reservation Dogs, which if you haven't, again, you need to, because they're both in it. Kenny Teal and Graham Greene is in the latest season as well, but so is Dallas Goldtooth, who was playing
the spirit guide in Reservation Dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dude, I fucking crackled when I saw him on screen.
Yeah, so like I love that they got this sort of crew together, and I think like met through making some other pieces of art and film and
Indigenous
TV together.
art.
Yeah. So
Graham Greene is an Academy Award nominee.
He is, and reverence.
And he's an icon. I love Graham Greene.
He's great. And like the unsolved murder show that she's like watching throughout, and then he comes in like in today's time. I was like, whoa, that's wild. But I mean, I thought it was a really solid film. I don't have one way or another a lot to say on it other than it was it's good. And if you like sort of Canadian cinema and Indigenous cinema on top of that, it's worth checking out.
The one part made you very upset though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally was just like, all right, because you can, it's built up and like you can see it coming. You're just like, all right, just fucking get on with it. I'm gonna be upset at this movie in a second. Do it. Let me be upset and then we'll move on.
Yeah. There's one thing mentioned in the beginning, and I was like, I swear to God, if we don't come full circle to this fucking moment, I'm gonna riot. And then when it happens, I was just like,
this is out of context for anything, but I'm very glad that justice was served for potatoes.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, Seeds, and that's our best, my worst. Good stuff, everyone. What do we want to move on to next before we get to our main topic? We have a couple.
We want to have 2 extra TIFF films that we wanted to talk about, don't we, Tony?
Yes, we do.
One we've already casually referenced a couple of times.
Yes,
but the one before that that I wanted to talk about was So Surreal, Behind the Masks.
Oh yeah,
which was directed by a good friend of the podcast, Neil Diamond.
Yes.
Not that Neil Diamond. And he actually mentioned it on the show when we interviewed him back in June, before they had even announced that it was coming to TIFF. So it's also directed by Neil Diamond and Joanne Robertson. What was her name? Caroline?
Yes.
Caroline is a producer on it. I don't remember her. Might be Bainbridge.
Catherine Bainbridge. Yes, who's just a producer on this one. She co-directed Red Fever.
Yes, she's just a producer on this one. Yeah. Sorry, Catherine. I messed up your name. You can hurt me if you ever see me on the street. I'm totally okay with it. It makes perfect sense.
Just don't hurt me. And
Tony, you're exempt because you're not friends with any of these people.
Well, I'm just saying if they saw me on the street and thinking it was Dave,
that's fair. That's fair.
Sorry, you got to take that bullet.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll come back.
What's worse is that interview. Dave and I were on camera the whole time, and they weren't, so they know what Dave's face looks like, but we don't know what they look like. So, I guess we know what Neil looks like.
What Neil looks like,
but we're not going to see it coming.
So anyways, it's a feature documentary about Indigenous masks, kind of the history behind them, and kind of how indigenous groups are trying to get them back.
Right, because they were like stolen.
Because they were stolen.
Right, yeah.
Some of them were stolen, some of them were given. Because there's an interesting part where they mention that after they used them, they used to just throw them in the fire, and that was the end of them.
It was the end of it, yeah.
But if they use them, then they've already been used. So if they discard them, it's like, yeah, okay, take it type thing, because it's useless to us.
Yeah.
But they were also stolen, and kind of how they've come to be seen as art.
Oh, okay.
Right?
And
Versus
sort of like
it's more of just like a cultural element. It's just part of their culture. They just make masks for their ceremonies.
Right.
And because I'm going to start talking out of my ass because I can't speak with authority on this.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not art to them.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's kind of it's almost having like a little bit of a renaissance, like a retrospective looking back. It's like, oh, these are very sought after for artistic value now versus maybe when they were produced and being used sort of regularly, they were not seen that way. It was very disposable. It was very just we got to make these masks for what we got to do, but they didn't see the intrinsic other value of the masks other than for the purpose that they were made for.
Yeah.
So long and short, it's about the history and kind of how they're trying to bring some of them back, or how they have been successful in getting some of them back.
Got it.
And it's interesting. Yeah. I don't like it as much as I liked Red Fever. For one thing, it's not as he's not as much of a sly bitch in this one as he was in Red Fever.
Yeah.
I felt like he was more like reporting and like delivering the information kind of thing, right?
Sure.
It's not as like Red Fever was a certain style,
right?
Whereas this one is like completely different. Like I feel like Red Fever is more accessible.
Right.
Whereas this one, I would feel like you would show it in like a class kind of thing.
Red Fever was more entertaining.
Yeah.
Versus this, that's like a full. This is it's not entertaining so much as it is educational.
It's more informative, more educated. That's exactly how I would put it.
You watch Red Fever, and if you want to do additional, further, deep niche reading, you can watch this.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Red Fever is very palatable. It's very like it's wide. It's able.
It's accessible.
That was the problem with Red Fever, is that it was a wide.
It was very
swath.
wide. Yeah.
Versus this, that's just very narrow.
Yeah. I believe from what I remember from our interview with him too, because he did talk about this upcoming.
He did talk about it. It was just called Masks then or something.
Yeah. And he kind of described the premise of it, but I believe he was saying too that it was like really born out of Red Fever, like because part of this started there when he started talking to the folks in this movie. That he was like, oh, there's more here, and then started making it became its own project. Within the Red Fever overall production. Yeah.
So it's also about the surrealist movement as well, and how important it was to how important masks were to the surrealist movement.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah. There is one shot that I love though. He's wearing like one of those, what do you call French hats type thing?
A beret.
He's wearing a beret and he's on a bike and he's just biking down the Champs-Élysées and he has a cigarette in his mouth. I was just like, yeah, you go, Neil Diamond. Yeah. You're fucking awesome.
Man.
I already thought you were awesome.
He's fucking awesome.
This is even more fucking awesome.
Yeah. This is the natural extension to that ridiculous hat he was wearing in Red Fever.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Very cool.
Nice.
And then so that one premiered at TIFF.
Yes.
And it's a documentary channel exclusive.
Sure.
Would you call it? Or documentary channel original. So I'm sure that will turn up soon enough.
Nice.
And then the other film that we want to talk about that Jimmy did not get to see, and which we have alluded to multiple times in this episode, is Francis Ford Coppola's Fable, Megalopolis.
Eat a dick.
Which comes out this Friday as well. Tony and I had the privilege of getting into the IMAX immersive experience at TIFF.
Eat a bucket of dicks.
Tony, I was in the second row, man.
Tony was in the spot where your neck hurts.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing dynamic seats kind of lean back because you're gonna need it. For
I was on the aisle, so like I kind of like propped myself like on an angle. I got real friendly with the guy beside me.
Sure.
And I made it like somewhat like enjoyable, I would say, but I was shifting a lot, and like Adam Driver's face was like washing over me, and like John Voight's ugly mug was like on me. It was a weird experience. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I still don't know whether to make heads or tails of this fucking movie.
So you want to see it again?
I do, but in the comfort of my own home. Maybe.
Fair. Okay.
It looks great in IMAX.
It looked incredible really in IMAX. There were some very good scenes. Visually, it's incredible. Right. It's one of those movies where you have to, and I know I'm going to sound cheesy and a cliche, but you really have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
Because we will never get a movie like this ever again.
Ever.
Oh no,
ever,
man. I don't think it's
like
ever.
At least an American movie like this again.
It is I would say a once in a generation movie.
Oh, it might be once in a lifetime.
Maybe even once in a lifetime. It is a testament that this movie even got made.
Yeah.
And you can tell his passion. Everything like oozes with Coppola. Like, it is a story that was near and dear to his heart. It's a story that he wanted to tell and wanted to tell his way.
And only his way.
And he did not want to
compromise.
And he did not want to compromise to anyone.
Yeah.
And this film is all of that.
Wow.
It's very bold.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not something you're expecting.
Right.
Or what. He throws everything at you. It's not very subtle. He throws everything he can at you because, as Tony said, he's not going to have another chance to make something like this. Yeah. He's never going to have a chance like this. Nobody's ever going to have a chance to make something like this again.
Yeah, he put most of his own money, it's probably the most expensive independent film ever made.
Yeah. Wild. He sold his vineyard.
He sold the vineyard. Yeah. And it's fucking wild. Like, basically the gist of the movie is that the one architect visionary, Adam Driver, has he has a substance called Megalon, I believe is what it's called, which he can manipulate and can kind of create like utopias out of.
Yeah.
And he also has the ability to stop time.
Right? Yeah.
And he's at odds with the mayor of, I think it's New Rome, right?
New Rome, yeah.
New Rome, which basically is New York City. And he's at odds with the mayor, and it's our boy
Giancarlo
Esposito.
Yeah.
And then the supporting cast, fucking John Voight, who has a scene.
John Voight.
James, I shit you not, there's a scene where he talks about his boner.
Oh my God.
Look at this boner. I shit you not. That's what comes out of his mouth, James.
Shia LaBeouf is in this movie.
Oh God.
Jason Schwartzman's in this movie. Talia Shire. Fucking Dustin Hoffman.
Audrey Plaza.
The fuck?
I'll get to her.
Okay.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it all comes down to Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Who plays a journalist named Wow Platinum.
Wonderful.
And she's not of this world in this movie. She basically like puts it all out there. She's fucking unhinged in this movie.
Gonzo, man.
Gonzo.
Fucking gonzo.
Like, she steals the whole movie because she's fucking crazy in it. And like, she's not, it's like Aubrey Plaza off the leash.
She is something else in this movie. Like, some of the things that come out of her mouth, you're just like, what the fuck?
And some of the things she wears too, like the costuming in this movie is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's deranged. There's no other word to describe it. I think Tony said the word gonzo.
Yeah.
That's probably the best word for it.
Incredible.
Natalie Emanuel is also in the film. She's Giancarlo Esposito's daughter who falls in love with Adam Driver.
Wild. All right, then.
Yeah. And we mentioned the immersive experience, which you probably are not going to have the opportunity. You probably will not have the opportunity to see, but if you're able to see it, you should definitely go to the immersive experience, because that is the one where the movie stops dead in the middle. Something big happens, cuts to black. The house lights go on and somebody comes out of the audience or out of the doorway or whatever and interviews Adam Driver on screen.
Wild.
It's like a live performance. And I was ready for it because I was waiting for it to happen. And I still wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
It was because it just comes out of nowhere and it's like wild.
The film stops dead and you're just like, what's going on? And then like that happens and you're like, what the hell am I witnessing right now?
Yeah.
Like live theater.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's something you will never see again.
Yeah.
I doubt anyone will pull that off again, mostly because I can't imagine that they're going to hire actors to do this.
Nuts. Yeah,
I don't think Cineplex employees are going to love coming in to check the screen and then say the line and then leave again.
There's some disinterested teen who doesn't care.
Like there will never be a movie like this ever again. And like at that point, like say what you want about the movie, but
it doesn't make any sense.
It makes no fucking sense at all.
I was on board and then I was suddenly not.
Interesting.
and I still don't even know if I am on board.
Interesting.
But you gotta admire Coppola for just swinging for the fucking fences.
Absolutely.
And staying true to his craft and not compromising on his story.
Absolutely. Well, I'll report back when I watch it.
And it's not boring.
It's never boring. Never boring.
Boring does not seem like the word to use here.
It's about like 2 hours and 10 minutes and you are in the shit the entire time.
Dang.
And you just can't, you got to keep watching because you're like, what the fuck is going to happen next?
Yeah.
Like he was trying to make this movie for 40 goddamn years, man.
Yeah.
And
sure as shit feels like it.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
And like, you got to admire it.
Wild.
It's like a fever dream, man. And there's a whole full-blown drug scene in the movie too.
I don't know if what I saw was a hallucination or a fucking fever dream.
Or real.
No idea.
Wild.
But when you see it, you gotta tell us everything.
Yeah, well, I guess I will.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I tried.
We tried, buddy. We really did.
It's all good.
Most certainly tried.
It's all good.
That was not an easy ticket to come by.
Yeah. But I'm going to go see it. It's just a matter of time now.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the texts immediately afterwards.
I'm excited for everybody to see it. Yes. I want everyone and their mother and their grandmother to see this movie.
Just this fever pitch of a movie.
Exactly.
I literally told someone today not to see it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Why?
Because they're not going to like it.
I don't even care. I don't even care if you need to like it. You need to see it.
For the sake of cinema.
For the sake of cinema. Like this movie is cinema.
Wild.
Yeah. That's Megalopolis.
Wow, Platinum.
That's all you got to know.
Next.
We can get fucking weird for a sec?
Yeah, we can get weird for a sec.
Finally, it is the return of the Shudder Minute.
Evil lurking deep inside, its darkness knows no limit. So listen closely if you dare. This is the Shudder Minute.
So, Tone, welcome back. Do you have a minute to shudder with us?
Oh, I have a minute. I maybe have 2 minutes because I got a double feature.
Oh my God.
So first up,
crap.
I got a Korean horror movie called Exuma.
Exuma.
I keep hearing about this.
Quick overview. Some sketchy shit is happening at a wealthy family's graveyard.
Sure.
They hire some paranormal people to come in and check out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Enter our boy Odae-soo.
Yeah.
I don't know the actor's name, but you guys know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yep.
And once he shows up, you know shit is about to go down.
Nice.
Because once they uncover what's happening, they slowly figure out that they shouldn't be messing with this graveyard.
Oh, well, I mean, generally, Tony, don't mess with a graveyard.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Right?
And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to ruin it.
It's Choi Min-sik.
Yes. He is absolutely awesome, as he is in everything he does.
Right.
Yeah.
The movie's a banger. It's a bit of a slow burn. But there's some genuinely creepy bits in it and unsettling bits. And it is the stuff of nightmares.
Fun.
Definitely seek this one out when you can. It's one of the better Shudder releases of this year, I would definitely say. Leave it up to Korea to deliver a banger.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You just if it's coming out of Korea, you definitely got to give it a shot.
Always.
It
just goes on the list. It's
South
immediately on the list.
South Korea. And then next up, I have another film that is not so good and that you should avoid like the plague.
Sure.
It is a film called Hellhole.
Oh.
This is from DIY Family.
This was at Fantasia.
This was at Fantasia. It's the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Directed by John Adams and Toby Poser.
Nice.
Quick overview of that. It's a fracking crew in Serbia, and they inadvertently dig up a live corpse,
right?
That's not so dead,
right?
I got that from the live part,
right? Yep. That is holding some sort of creature inside of them.
Oh,
hey
guys, did you see The Thing?
Yes,
I'm familiar.
You're familiar?
I think we also saw it in 35 millimeter.
Yeah. We did. Did you want to see The Thing? With a lower budget and set in Serbia?
No, not particularly.
Yeah, then you should avoid this movie.
All right.
Because I shit you not, guys, it follows the exact same beats, almost beat for beat of The Thing.
All right. So just watch The Thing.
Just watch The Thing.
All right.
They definitely, the Addams definitely got more of a budget, because you can tell. But this movie just made me want to watch Hellbender. I wasn't even that crazy about Hellbender, but the more that I think about this movie, the more I just want to watch Hellbender.
That makes sense.
This movie is extremely metal because I just think it's these guys' MO, because Hellbender was fucking metal too.
Sure.
But yeah, don't see this movie at all. It's super bad.
Don't seek it out. Don't seek it out. Don't even look at its direction.
They got more movies. I'm hearing good things about When the Devil Roams. That one was the one that came out last year. I'm hearing good things. I'm also hearing good things about their debut, The Deeper You Dig. I think is the movie.
That's
fun. Seek those movies
on Arrow.
Yeah, it's on Arrow and also on Shudder. Seek those movies out. Report back to me because I haven't seen them, but I want to see them, and I just want to do another round of the Hellbender. And yes,
October's coming.
Yeah. And there's going to be more Shudder minutes. I've been slack-a-lacking, but we're
back,
getting back in it.
I love it. So I guess this technically counts as a Shudder triple feature for you, though.
I guess so, yeah.
As we move into our main segment, which is also a Shudder exclusive movie.
Shudder original.
Shudder original. Yeah, but it's not coming to Shudder right away. It's going to theaters first.
Right.
So it'll be on Shudder later this year.
So we're going to talk about Azrael.
Yes, which was also at Fantasia.
And we also wanted to see this movie at Fantasia. It was on my short list.
It was definitely on my short list as well.
And couldn't get it.
No.
But we got it now.
No, I wanted to see it at South by as well, and we couldn't get it there either.
But we got it now.
We got it
now.
Yeah,
we get after the festival season's over.
It's fine. We got it.
We got you.
They knew. TIFF was coming. They can't fit it in. It's fine. We'll give them a break and then we'll shove it in.
We know these guys really want it. We'll give it to them eventually.
And closer to October, so it makes more sense for them.
Absolutely.
So this one comes out on Friday.
It does.
In limited release.
Yes.
And it stars
Samara Weaving.
My girl, Samara Weaving.
Your girl specifically? Does she know this?
I don't know. If she doesn't know, she knows now.
She knows now.
She knows now.
Oh boy, I'm so sorry, Samara.
Oh. That's hurtful.
Yes. It also stars Vic Carmen's son and Nathan Stewart Jarrett.
Yes.
As well.
He was in Femme. I forgot that I was like, why do I know this guy?
Yeah.
Is
He's the lead in Femme.
Oh my god.
Yes, apparently he's also in Candyman. The remake.
The remake.
Or the requel.
His face is very familiar.
Yeah. So I was like, why do I know that guy?
Yeah.
Simple premise.
Very, very simple premise.
The world's ended. The rapture has occurred. And people have taken that to the point of the ones left have figured that voice was their sin, I think is how I read that.
Yeah, or one of the sins, yeah.
And so they removed their own vocal cords.
Yes, they take a literal vow of silence and remove their vocal
vow of silence. So huge, big, bold choice for this movie to be basically a silent film in so many ways. In terms of dialogue, anyway, there's maybe three lines of dialogue.
Minimal dialogue, and it's not in English.
Yeah. And basically, you're following the titular Azrael, who is constantly being hunted to be sacrificed.
Yes.
By these things that just exist in this forest.
Yeah, they kind of reminded me of the demons from what's that movie called? The Descent.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I was also I had some Last of Us vibes as well.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep. Little zombie-ish, little flesh-eating, little burn victim things.
The makeup's cool.
Yeah,
makeup is pretty cool.
Some sort of creature like.
So basically, they want to it's a religious thing, and they want to sacrifice to the creatures, I guess, so that these other people don't get eaten.
Continue to live. Yes. Yeah. That plan doesn't go very well. And then it's just a constant sort of cat and mouse game from there on out of,
it's a chase.
It's a chase. Yeah. They're trying to get her.
And
she's trying to
sacrifice her, and she's trying to
stay
not
away.
Have that happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's obscenely violent.
Yeah.
Obscenely violent.
Yeah. I was going to say the gore effects in this are bananas.
They are very, very good. Like this is a very, like, it's a great looking film, and you can tell it was made very cheaply.
Oh yeah, it's low budget.
It's a low budget film, but they put all of the budget. They threw all of the budget at the makeup effects on these creature things, as well as the blood and gore effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because one guy gets his neck ripped open,
it's like
and
right
then
in the beginning of the movie,
eviscerated, and there's just like chunks, and it's pretty nightmarish.
Yeah,
it's pretty gross. It's definitely it's one of those movies that Tony would watch at 6 a.m. and be wide awake right away.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. This felt like a 6 a.m. Tony movie to me.
Yeah,
or at 2 a.m. he starts watching and finishes it the next morning because he fell asleep halfway through.
Yeah, that's also accurate.
Yeah. There's two speeds.
Well, that's funny. That's funny that y'all say that because I watched this at 9 a.m.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's good.
That checks out.
Checks out, right?
I appropriately watched this in an evening, and
I watched it in an evening as well. Did you like it?
I think it was a bold choice, first of all, to go with an almost silent film. I think that's kind of fun. And this movie has like a lot of pedigree behind it in terms of writing, directing.
Simon Barrett's the writer.
Yeah.
Who I love.
Who did You're Next and
The Guest.
Who's the director though?
Katz.
Yeah. Who you will recognize from such films as
Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills, but he also did the entire the series The Haunting of Bly Manor.
With Flanagan.
Yeah. So it has like a good sort of pedigree behind its writing and directing. Did
you like Cheap Thrills?
I was going to say, not to ruin everyone's like feng shui of where they're going with this. I wanted to watch Cheap Thrills because Cheap Thrills is the better movie.
Yeah. Who said that? That's not where I was going with all of this. I'm saying it had some good pedigree. It had, a decent cast. Like Samara Weaving's great. But
I think she has to be great because you kind of
You're with her the
entire time. So she has to be great. And she's a captivating actress when she can talk.
Yeah.
And she does just as well with an entirely physical performance.
Yep. But overall, I didn't love it. There was a lot of choices and things happening where I just kind of shouted at the screen. I'm like, you're just fucking stupid. Like, you're making the dumbest choice because this movie needs you to make the dumbest choice. Like, there's so many opportunities that you had to properly escape, and you would just make the dumbest choice to get recaptured again, and then escape, and then recapture, and then escape. And it was just like, I understand it's low budget, I understand movies got a movie, but don't always make the dumbest fucking choice for your actor every time. Like, it's like she had 3 survival instincts and no more. Like, that was it. Exactly 3, and she used them all. But everything, like, she had to continually get recaptured in order for this movie to continue movieing.
You say that she's not, that it's stupid, but like, after COVID, the way things happened in real life, I don't think movies are stupid anymore. And people are making dumb decisions in movies. I think they're making realistic decisions because they're idiots.
Yeah, I just think you have unrealistic expectations of humanity.
I have unrealistic expectations of groups of people. Individuals are smart, groups are fucking dumb.
Yeah.
That's always the way it is. This is a line from fucking the first Men in Black movie. Like, a person is smart, people are fucking stupid. Like, so she's by herself for most of this movie, and she's making the worst choice every time. So, no, I refuse to accept that.
Maybe the worst choice is the best choice.
No, the worst choice was the only choice presented to her because it was written that way. The smartest choice she did was hop in that fucking pickup truck.
Yeah.
And even that didn't work out well, but whatever. That wasn't her fault. That was...
The scene it leads to is awesome, though.
Yeah.
It's like down and dirty. Like, I love that scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't love it.
It kind of reminded me, the way it was playing out, it felt very video gamey.
A little, yeah.
Like, it wasn't so much using video game iconography so much as it felt like a survival thriller that you would be playing.
Mini bosses almost.
Like mini bosses, and like picking up one weapon at a time type thing. Like, I thought it just reminded me of playing a video game. And
Fair.
because you're just watching her for most of the movie.
Fair.
I would put it in like the same class as like a Resident Evil, like very like Biohazard Village, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. That's fair. Those are fair components.
Right? And even with the monsters, right? Like that's very Resident Evil-esque. So like I like your theory on the video game, because then that just opens it up a little bit, because now I'm starting to see it now. I was pretty lukewarm on it too. There's good parts about it, but overall, like, the only reason to see this to watch this movie is for Samara, for sure.
Yeah,
which is any reason. You don't need a reason if
she's in it. You don't need a reason, but you should watch it because she's awesome.
Yeah,
but I also feel to our introduction where we said we were looking forward to this at multiple festivals. We also probably put it up on the pedestal because we waited multiple festivals to see it.
Yeah, and I'm sure also being denied the ability to see it many times, it plays into that as well. But yeah, honestly, at the end of it, I don't think I ever want to watch it again. I'm
That's
fine.
fair.
I don't care.
Yeah.
That's fair. But if Tony was to mention this on the Shudder Minute, I think he would. Yeah, I think he'd recommend it.
Yeah, I probably
as
would.
a Shudder Minute.
Yeah. I probably would. Because like it's short too. Like it's like an hour. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Like
it's very. When it ended, I was like, this is a lot earlier than I thought it was.
Because like I was looking at the runtime, I was like, oh, we still got 20. I was like, we still got 20 minutes left, and then it was done in 10. I was like, what the hell? 10 minutes of credits?
Yep.
But then when you look at the scroll, like they're going up very, very slowly, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're in, you're out. Like it doesn't it doesn't take too much time to explain anything.
No.
You're in it, and it's essentially a chase. It's a 75-minute chase movie.
I will say though, as much as I said it was a big swing for them to go basically into a silent film with very little dialogue, I will say that did take away of some sort of thing. Like, it does the best it can to explain the world that it's in, and you get it for the most part. But there are things that are happening in here where I'm like, what? Like,
that's fair.
Some dialogue was a little, yeah.
It would have been able to give me a little bit more exposition than they were able to achieve, even with the random Bible verses in between every act, interstitially.
I thought the way they introduced that the first time, I thought it was going to be like a Charlie Chaplin movie where
I literally thought it was going to be a silent film, right? Like a straight up silent, like Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin style.
That would have been fucking great.
It might have been better. I would have at least they would have had a few more of them that would have explained what the fuck world I was in.
Yeah.
Because the ending is
a choice
and predictable in a sense, but also what, how, why, where, when, like
movie's got a movie, James.
You're just like kind of like, huh?
Yeah,
it's one of those, because when you say predictable, it's just like, is it predictable? Because like it kind of comes, it's just like,
no. The moment that
it's pretty predictable. Just go with it. Just go with it, Tony. You can trust us.
It's rapture times. There's evil things in a forest, and there's a pregnant lady. You can draw the conclusion from that triangle.
Okay.
It's that. Yeah. So I don't know. I wanted something more from this, and maybe it's because it's on a pedestal for me, but like, I don't know. I feel like my criticisms feel valid.
I think we all have valid criticisms. Yeah. We're all lukewarm on the movie. Mm-hmm. I think it looks great, and I think she's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the gore effects are great.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
But yeah, I was left kind of wanting more from it.
Yep.
And I feel like James is like hitting the nail on the head. Like, if there was just a little bit of dialogue, just like,
a ball hair,
just to explain things a small bit better, because you're also left to assume, right, and form your own what's going on kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But if they just had like just a touch, not even you don't even need a lot, like 10 words, maybe 15.
Yeah. And it's not even like
sprinkled throughout the whole movie.
To be honest, it's not even like, Samara Weaving's character, Azrael, doesn't know what's like, she's your through line through this movie, but she's not like an avatar for the audience either.
That's fair.
Like, she knows what's going on in this world.
Yeah,
that's fair.
She's got the fucking cross on her vocal cords to prove it. Like, she's very well aware. We're not aware, and we're never kind of made aware. We're the ones that kind of get ghosted at the end of this, and it's just like, cool, figure it out. And it's like, well, you could have given me something, a nugget somewhere, not a fucking art mural in a church. Like, anyway,
they trusted the audience.
Yeah. And for the most part, it's a simple enough story that you can get it, but there's, to Tony's point, like a ball hair's worth more of explanation would have probably worked in the movie's favor and made it slightly better.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. That's all fair points.
Yeah.
All fair points.
But so it's coming out this week, though.
It's limited release theatrically this week, and then it'll be on Shudder later this year. I would say it's a wait for Shudder.
I would agree with that.
I would wait for Shudder.
Yeah.
If you need like a random horror movie, you don't
filling out that 31 in October list.
Exactly. You don't need to see this in theaters. Yeah, it's a Shudder. It's a wait for Shudder for sure.
But I still think it's worth watching.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. It's not a gimmick.
Agreed.
It's something new.
Yep.
Definitely like a fresh take.
Yeah.
And it's original.
I agree.
I would say it's original.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait for Shudder.
Yes.
When I get a date, or when we get a date, we can remind you.
Yes. Yeah. We will. We'll make sure we call it out, and whatever episode is nearest to that date.
Yes.
Especially since in October we've been covering a lot more horror.
We are going to be talking about a lot of horror. Yes, but before we talk about horror, since Tony brought back the Shudder Minute. I feel it is only right that we bring back Dave's New Blues.
It's been 84 years.
It has.
What did that boy buy? It's Dave's New Blues.
What's your new blue?
What really sucks when you say that 84 years thing is like, I have been getting new blues. We just never had a chance to talk about them. Every time I want to talk about them, we have to cut it for time.
We've had a lot of festivals to go to, Dave.
It's a hard life.
We've been just like, sitting here twiddling our thumbs, just saying, fuck you, Dave. You don't get to talk about your new blues.
I just feel like I'm like Lindsey Buckingham in those SNL sketches where they're like, well, we didn't have enough time for you. Matt Damon, we had to cut Matt Damon again. Yeah. Like, that's what I always felt like. Like, the one time I was going to talk about The Raid, which came out, Umbrella in Australia brought that one out earlier this year in 4K. Right. Yeah. Looks immaculate. And we actually talked about it.
We did.
Before the show. We were looking at it and comparing Blu-rays, and then we didn't get a chance to even talk about it.
This is true.
But anyways, I don't want to talk about The Raid.
Well, you always should. But
I always should talk about The Raid. If you haven't seen The Raid, you need to see The Raid.
Yeah.
Just The Raid.
All the time. Anyway.
All the time, every time. What I want to talk about today is the new Paramount Presents 4K Blu-ray of Bringing Out the Dead, Martin Scorsese's 1999 picture, starring Nicolas Cage and written by Paul Schrader.
I recently saw this movie.
Yes, it is a divisive. It's one of Scorsese's divisive movies, but I feel like it's a diamond in the rough. I feel like it's underrated as hell, and it's basically paramedics' journey through hell. Yeah. Through 3 different shifts with three different partners.
Yeah.
So his partners are John Goodman, Ving Rhames, and Tom Sizemore.
Yes.
And then there's a through line with one of the victims' family members, who's Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, but there's a couple of through lines too, because there's also that one homeless guy and
Mark Anthony keeps showing up.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, it's like his journey and what he's kind of discovering about himself and the human condition, and it's written as only Paul Schrader could write it.
Yeah, of course,
and it's delivered as only Nick Cage could deliver.
Yeah,
so it might be niche in that respect.
Yeah.
But it looks, this movie, it's very gritty, very dark.
Yeah. New York is gross.
Like, it's gross looking.
Yeah.
Like, the 4K looks about as good as it possibly can.
Sure.
Love it.
For a movie that's basically shot in the dark with completely muted colors and occasional reds.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, isn't it sponsored by the color red?
Not quite, but there is a lot of red.
Yeah,
but it's very gray.
It's mainly desatted. Like it's pretty. Like that was when I was watching it. I was like, what? This is a fucking choice. Like there was like very little anything colorful going on.
Yeah. So like when you watch a 4K and you see the vibrancy of the colors, you're like, okay, yeah, it's been upgraded 4K type thing. But it still looks very grimy. But it's clear and it's clean, and it's never been released on Blu-ray before. So this is the first time it's ever been on Blu-ray. First time it's ever been on 4K, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's only been available as like an out of print DVD for at least a decade.
Wow,
damn,
at least. So in that respect, if you do like this movie, it's worth upgrading for sure.
Yeah.
If you've never seen the movie, you should definitely seek it out in this format, because it probably looks a lot better than the fucking DVD did.
Yeah.
And it looked a lot better than whatever fucking version I watched online.
Yeah.
But I really like it, not just because I'm a Scorsese and Nick Cage fan. That helped. That certainly helps.
That you're also a Paul Schrader fan, aren't you?
He's a Paul Schrader fan.
I'm a little Paul. I'll dabble in Paul Schrader. I'll dabble. I'll dabble.
Yeah.
But I just think the way it's very unique, and I love the supporting performances, because getting the different, like the episodic, it's episodic.
It very much is, yeah.
But like John Goodman to Ving Rhames to Tom Sizemore it's fucking
It's nuts, man.
nutty.
Yeah.
It's nutty how different it is.
Yeah.
But it also feels real because I don't know enough about paramedics and police officers and all of that shit, but I know not every day is the same.
Yeah, very much so.
Not every person you try to help is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it feels very much like that.
Yeah.
And again, a descent through hell because Nick Cage can't really sleep.
Very.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also a part where he barks like a dog.
Yes, there is that. That's a thing that happens.
That's a thing that happens.
Well, I have not seen this movie.
You definitely should.
really need to, man.
When you say Descent into Hell,
Yeah.
do you think it could be passable for a 31 in October film?
Not
No.
really.
Not really. Eh?
Not really.
No.
Alright.
More of a
Like
drama
a metaphorical
than
descent into hell.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
It's very
Damn,
real.
damn.
Like it's
very,
not a horror. It's not a horror movie,
No,
Tony.
No.
It's very
very-
much a character
Yeah.
piece.
Okay.
And the city is the fourth character.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's fucking Marty Scorsese. Of course,
Yeah.
New York is the fourth character.
Yeah.
Fifth. No. Sixth or seventh.
8. Anyway,
He is
it's in the
one-
list.
New York is one of the characters.
Of course
If
it
you look
is.
at the cast on
Yeah.
Letterboxd, New York is just there.
It's
Yeah.
just there.
It's just
It's
there.
It's there
City,
as the
state.
city.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I really, really like this movie. And it's definitely underrated.
Mm.
And I'm glad I finally have it on 4K.
Amazing.
Nice. Amazing.
I don't remember if I really loved this movie, but I do remember enjoying it. I don't think I sit at your level of enjoyment of it, but 4K sounds like it would be a treat.
It is very much a treat.
Any fun special features on it?
Just the normal amount of special
Okay.
features, but there's new stuff.
Is there
It's not-
commentary?
There's no commentary.
Hmm.
But it's, you know
Chuck
how
I want a Paul Schrader commentary.
modern DVDs, Blu-rays are just very fluffy.
Yeah.
And they don't have, and for like older films, they don't have new features.
Sure,
It's usually just like the old stuff,
Yeah.
if anything.
If
So
anything,
it's
yeah.
nice to have a couple of reflection pieces. There's a
Yeah.
reflection piece from Marty and
So
a couple other. No, there's no essays. But if you get the slipcase, it does fold out into the poster.
Is there an entire other movie of Shaft on there?
No,
Well,
no.
then,
This
throw it
one's
in
a
the
4K.
bin.
This one, it's on 4K and it's on Blu-ray. I recently picked up Chinatown, and Chinatown's only on 4K, and the Blu-ray that comes with it is the 2 Jakes, which Tony swears he doesn't need, but we all know better.
Yeah,
He definitely
you
needs
need
the
it.
2 Jakes.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
So
That's
that's Dave's New Blue for the first time in what, a decade?
yes.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time, but I'm
been
happy it's
time.
back.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep it coming back around. I think we got a pretty clear runway for the next bit.
We do. We do.
The festival season's over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, festival season's just beginning, but our festival season
Our
is
festival
over.
season is done.
We're going to be just
Fantastic.
watching a lot of movies
Yeah.
coming out of festivals.
And we just gotta. It's a race to the finish to catch up with everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
2024.
Yeah, that and and we have to carve out the entire month of October for horror films, so that's a whole thing.
There is that.
Yeah.
I'm almost up to my full 31, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have a pretty solid list that I want to change 100 times before now and between
Yeah.
now and the end of October.
Hey, here's a qualifying question for you.
Sure.
Do I get to count Evil Dead the Musical as a horror movie?
No.
No.
Damn it.
No. I think I'm going to do a marathon this year.
It could be an adjacent.
Okay, fine. Well, because
Adjacent,
I
yeah.
do. So I am in full fashion. I am seeing Evil Dead the Musical again. It has been ages since we last went to that.
It's a good one.
I was looking at those photos the other day, and I'm like, I had to scroll way back in my Instagram to find them.
It's a good one.
So it's been a long time.
I still have
very
the phone
excited.
chainsaw.
It's amazing. My girlfriend and I are going with a few of her friends because they kind of organized the whole thing, and I was like, hell yeah! Like I was in immediately, and she's like, I've never seen Evil Dead. And I'm like, well, we're gonna have to change that because we're not going to see Evil Dead the musical until we've seen Evil Dead the movies. Like that needs to be necessary viewing so
Yeah.
that you get the camp and the ridiculousness of it. So then it works as a musical. But yeah, I'm very excited because I will get to rewatch those again. And the last time, Evil Dead 2 is I think the last one I saw when we went to TIFF to watch that on film.
Yeah. I think I've seen Army of Darkness since then. But I haven't seen the first Evil Dead in forever.
Forever.
I think I'm going to
Forever and
show
a day.
Melissa the first one.
Yeah.
Because I think she watched Army of Darkness with me, and she was like, what the fuck is this?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
As
Bruce
long as
Campbell in
as long
medieval
as she
times. It's
bows
great.
down to, and she hails to the chin. That's all that
She will
matters.
hail to the chin.
Always
That's
gotta hail
all
to
that
the chin.
matters. But
definitely.
it's funny that you brought up Evil Dead, the musical, because at least on 1 or 2 rides to TIFF, me and Tony definitely listened to the
Hell
soundtrack to
yeah.
Evil Dead, the musical.
Hell yeah.
And it has the part where she gets raped by the trees. And it's the one track I always skip because it's not a good track.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's
something.
very unsettling.
It's
Very
something.
I hope
Yeah.
that they change that part.
I will see. I will
You'll
report back and let you know.
Yes.
But till then, I guess we'll be into October the next time we all talk, and I'm very excited to keep coming back and doing stuff. Yeah.
It's just funny that we're not going to be talking about a horror movie next time.
Yeah.
Our main topic won't be a horror movie.
everything else might be, but that
It's
won't
true.
be.
That won't be.
But no spoilers.
No
No
spoilers.
spoilers.
It's obvious what it is, but no
But no
spoilers.
spoilers.
No
No
spoilers.
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 We can't give it away, Dave.
We won't. And I'm going to
to
have to carve out some time for Venom because that movie looks fucking awesome.
That movie looks. That's another movie I need to correct a blind spot for my girlfriend on because she's not seen any of the Venoms
I'm
either.
sure she'll
Which
watch those.
it's the best buddy romance comedy that's come out in a long time. It's
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Fantastic.
I need that Venom horse in my life.
That Venom horse better come out as a Funko Pop
Oh, I would
yeah.
get it
because
immediately.
I would immediately get
Immediately.
that psychotic horse as a Funko Pop.
Yeah.
I'll check Amazon right after this.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, so we got some more coming your way. But until then, I'm still Jimmy.
Big T Tony B.
Yeah.
Sleepy Dave.
And Dave's gonna go to bed, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks.